Ready? Hit it.
Yep, here he comes. Riding his trusted steed through the Sierra foothills as he brings you the news. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! He calls himself
Charlie!
What you doing, Charlie?
Sorry, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. There you are. Look how cute you are. Yeah!
Hey, Charlie. What's with the dark glasses?
And now, here he is, a man of God, living in a world of Disney.
Ow! Charlie!
Charlie Simons.
Charlie bit me.
As we at the
I'm broadcasting live from a great event. Make America healthy again, basically, it was the theme today. Tomorrow is all about the candidates who are running for local office, well, not local, state office in California and local. And that's what this Take Our California Back is all about. I'm Charlie Simons, your host here on Do Not Talk about two things you're never supposed to talk about: politics and religion.
That's right.
That's what I talk about.
That's what we talk about.
Yes, sir. And there's people who are at this event that I haven't even met before, haven't seen before. This gentleman is one of them. Tell us who you are.
I'm Sean Collinson. I'm your candidate for Lieutenant Governor of
Spell your last name.
Collinson, and Sean, like Sean Penn, Sean Connery, SEAN, Sean.
Oh, good old traditional Irish spelling.
Irish spelling. That's right, buddy. Wore green every St. Patty's Day.
Yeah. Where you based out of? Where you from?
Based out of Los Angeles.
Where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Brooklyn. I'm a New Yorker.
Wahoo!
Yeah, I've been in California 35 years. This is my home. I love California. How about you? Where you from?
I'm a Bakersfield boy.
Okay, all right. Know it well.
Yeah.
Got to get out to Bakersfield more often. You know, down in Southern California, we represent half the populace in California. It's 21,000 people in Southern California, in Bakersfield, Riverside County, San Diego, Orange County, Los Angeles. Yeah.
What have you done before? What is making you uniquely qualified? Have you ever run for office before?
I'm not a politician.
Awesome.
I'm not a politician. And if anyone asks me if I'm ever going to be one, the answer would be no. I'm a mediator and an FBI-trained hostage negotiator, currently on CNT, crisis negotiation team. I deal with jumpers and murder by suicide. I deal with very difficult people on a daily basis, substantively in family law. I'm a mediator. As a hostage negotiator, I'm currently active in the field, and I just come to, work with California and Sacramento to get people an agreement they can live with.
You got a good gig.
I do have a pretty good gig. I think sometimes I'm in a bubble, but ultimately, when God gives us blessings, they're for others. So our blessings are for you. I believe going to Sacramento as the mediator candidate is to get an agreement that the people of California can live with. Our farmers, our teachers, our small business owners, clean up the homelessness disaster that was caused by broken policies, the blame game, pointing the finger and can't find the money. And also the money for the bullet train. I don't know if you've been on a bullet train, but I have not seen it for the money.
It was an awesome ride. I rode all the way from, there's no track laid.
No track.
The problems in California are vast and numerous, but bottom line, it comes down to good people not getting involved. And that's what happens when you have bad people making bad choices and putting other bad people into positions of tremendous power.
Right.
How do you come back from that as the entire state of California? That's where we are now, though.
That's where we are. Well, the David and Goliath story, right? People keep thinking it's going to happen from the top down. It's not. It's going to happen from the bottom up.
Right.
People have to get involved.
Right.
I talk to people up and down the state, and they say, well, this politics thing, I really don't know about. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to. You should be doing it. It is your civic duty to be involved. So if you're not going to get involved, you cannot complain when they're trying to give you the jab, putting these mandates, saying they want your kids to go in the same bathrooms and do all of this stuff. You better get involved, or it's going to be mandated that you do what they want.
And we've already seen under the supermajority reign of terror from the left in the state of California, we've seen exactly how far they will take it, and they're just getting started.
And they've gotten really extreme. So as I'm a no party preference candidate, so I'm no preference. I'm coming up the middle to run the ball in for the people, bringing in reasonable common sense, finding common ground, helping people come to where we can do things that make sense. So I'll grab something from the right, something from the left, bring it together, strong as a no party preference. I'm not beholden to either side. Sean Collinson for Lieutenant Governor. You're going to see me on my ballot designation as mediator on this ballot. You're going to get your ballots May 2nd through the 4th. Cinco de Mayo, you might not get it, but on the 6th, you're going to get it. It's time to bring a mediator to Sacramento. That's what California needs right now.
I like what you're saying. Where do we find you?
Find me at sean4ca.com, SEANFORCA.com.
I keep saying nothing's going to change until we get good people running for
We're
office.
going to have to. In this panel that you're going to be interviewing today, I can just tell you, this panel I was on today, this Maha panel, these are the folks, these are the people that should represent. These people really want to represent the people. They're not here to play party games and misappropriate funds, try to give your kids vaccines, and then let the government have control over your kids at school. These are common sense folks. I believe that panel that I'm on today, that you guys are here doing, these are good people. Louis Hearns, Elaine Colati, Jennifer Hawks, Christine Bish. These are amazing folks. It was an honor to be with them today, and I'm so happy I was here. So thank you for having me. Sean4ca.com. Thank you.
SEAN. Sean for CA.
Mediator.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure. And
Thank you.
thank you so much for what you're doing.
Appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
the best to you.
Your next guest is Jennifer Hawks. She's amazing for treasurer.
There you go. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Yes, this is a live broadcast from this actual event. TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com is the website where you can get all the information about what's been happening. Come on over, girl. Come on over. There you
Hey,
go.
Charlie, how are you?
I'm
It's good.
borderline amazing.
Oh, you know something? I'm borderline amazing today.
Yeah.
I was
well,
freezing cold up on that stage,
we're
but
doing our red, white, and blue today.
there you go. I put on something that was going to be comfortable to drive in today, and because it was about an hour, and it ended up being about a 2-hour drive to get over here. But I've got a suit for tonight, and if I had gloves, I'd be bringing those too.
I learned some things about you on stage today that I did not know. Scott Shields kept saying the media keeps ignoring all of these candidates and not really putting them on. And I'm like, what? I'm sorry, what? I've been putting everyone on from the very beginning. And I have not heard anything about you until I went to the California Republican Party convention down in San Diego, which is now a couple of weeks ago. That's my first introduction to you. So he's right. Media's been ignoring all of you all.
Well, you know something? I also haven't been out there very much. I mean, I have, but I haven't been. I spent the first 2 months of my time in, because I'd never run before, kind of learning all the things you have to do to get a campaign up and rolling. And the other time I've spent is data mining this office, because it's a very complex office. It has 400 employees. She sits on almost 60 boards. And there's eight different divisions within the treasurer's office. So I wanted to really understand the office before I felt like I could get out there and really start to talk about it. And also to understand what I was getting into and whether or not I was going to be able to do the job. I think I'm going to be able to do the job. In fact, I think I'm going to be able to do the job pretty well. I have a very interesting background. It started off, I was in banking. And from banking, I ended up in human resources. From human resources, I was in a startup company that ended up getting bought by a company that was public out of New York. I oversaw 2 offices and eventually 3. with a soft arm to finance. I did some serious bill collecting while I was with that prior to us getting acquired. Went through that acquisition and merger, and then eventually ended up at a very prestigious school in Atherton, California, and was there for 20 years before I retired.
I was sitting just a couple of rows behind you at the convention on the voting session on Sunday, and the California Republican Party overwhelmingly endorsed you.
I was very
or
honored.
voted to endorse you.
I was humbled and honored.
I know, because you turned around and you were thanking everybody, and I'm like, she's crying. She's crying.
I was, because, to have the confidence of your peers,
Yeah.
that was a very overwhelming moment for me. And it really the same at the CRA convention as well. Now, they didn't give me the endorsement that particular day, but it was the first time I had stood with that many peers and spoke publicly about why I was running. And then by the time I got to the California GOP, I think that was even more overwhelming because I knew the strength of what that endorsement would mean.
One of my biggest frustrations during the whole COVID shutdown was what was happening to the Calvary. Is it Calvary Chapel?
Yeah, Calvary Christian Fellowship in San Jose.
Calvary Christian Fellowship in San Jose, California, Bay Area. Governor Hairdo has targeted that church in particularly, I think, harder than any other to set an example that no, you don't get to open up your church services and have people come in if I told you you can't. It's
Basically, Sarah Cody, the health director for Santa Clara County, basically the thing was, if you can, my pastor said, if you can open up the strip clubs and the bars, we're opening up the church. And boy, they did not like that at all because they still wanted everything very much restricted. We've managed to get quite a bit of those fines knocked off, but we are still sitting with about $1 million.
It's insane.
I know.
That is our own government, paid for by our own tax dollars,
Thank you.
going after
God's money.
God's money.
God's money.
Exactly what that is.
I know, it's infuriating when you stop and think about it from that viewpoint.
And then I found out you were part of that congregation. I did not know that until today. You were there. You've been part of this whole fight.
And I have to tell you, I've given time and talent to that as well, because a couple of the law firms that have worked with our church, pro bono, by the way, I have supported. And when I found out that Jay Sekulow was partnering with them and taking them to the Supreme Court, I made a big donation to Jay's organization. And I also invoked my father to help with that as well, which he did do. Because where you put your time and treasure, I think speaks of where your heart is at as well.
Amen. Well, where do we find you? How do we follow what you're doing?
Well, you can connect with me through my website. A lot of the things that I'm thinking about or my thoughts on things are on there. It's Hawks for Us, HAWKSFOR us.com. You can also reach out to us by info@hawksforus.com. And I'm just excited to be in this race, and 6 more weeks, folks, and we'll find out where things stand. Thank you so much. This was so wonderful.
You're extraordinary. You're just extraordinary.
Anyway,
Do you have one more minute?
I do.
I'm going to bring up something that I've heard others say I'm hardcore.
Go for
Card
it.
carrying,
I'm-
good old boy from Bakersfield,
I'm an
flag waving
I'm
patriot.
an open book. You go for it.
And a lot of the people in the circles I run in are saying, no, Jennifer Hawks is actually a Democrat. That's what she was before.
I've been a Republican all my life. The first president I ever voted for was Ronald Reagan, and I had the opportunity to go to Berlin and stand at the Brandenburg Gate. And when I touched that gate with my hands, I started to cry, because the first president that I've ever voted for
Me too.
was the one that changed and opened up that whole area.
Yeah.
It was a very proud but very emotional, because I do cry, and I cried then too. Where in the world would they get Democrat? I run the Palo Alto Republican Women's Federated, and I'm on the board for the California Federated board.
That's why I wanted to ask.
Matter of fact, I'm a major donor to Heritage Foundation, Judicial Watch, Council for National Policy. Where in the world did they get that? I have absolutely
No.
I have no idea.
I've been in the media my entire adult life, and I'm still amazed at the things that people, if they don't have actual facts, they'll just make them up.
They will.
Yeah.
What a hoot.
Thank you for the clarification.
Absolutely. Anything else that we need to clarify?
Oh, man, we're good. We're good.
Christian, tither, love God. That's why I'm doing this. It's time to get our state back. And you know something? I think the people of California have had enough. I really do.
Amen.
I have hope. I don't know about anybody else, but I have hope right now. And I'm pretty excited about the energy that I'm feeling as I go up and down the state, but actually across the nation. It's not just the state. Then on a national level, people are saying things are changing in California, and I'm feeling pretty doggone good about that.
One more time, your website, Hawks.
Hawks for Us, FORUS.com. Thank you again so much for your time. I'm going to go change because I got to get a suit on so I can be warm tonight.
Right on. Okay.
Thank
all right. We are at the Roberts Union Farm Center. It's outside of Stockton. I don't know if it's technically considered Stockton. We're way out. We're way out rural farmland right here. Some of the farmers that are here today is Elaine Culotti and also David Collenberg, who, if you've watched me for a while, you know he's been on my show more than once. So that was a lot of the conversation today. Making America healthy again, making California healthy again. A lot of the candidates and a lot of questions we're talking about Robert Kennedy Jr. and what he's been doing and changing the hearts and minds of we the people, who has been, as we're discovering more and more all the time, we've just been experimented on. We've been polluted by our own leaders, and it all is so much of it. As one of the candidates said today on stage, you want to bring down the state of California because you want to usher in your new world order, your one world government. Start with the farms. Start with farming, because we are the breadbasket, and that's how you can dismantle and destroy it. And these a lot of these farmers are having to sell because they've made it so hard for them to farm and to sustain, any kind of sustainable living, working so hard. I know. I come from the farming and ranching side. I grew up around that all my life, and I know how much hard work goes into it. And it can be very profitable, and deservedly so. But the state of California has made it to where these people are hurting, and they're having to sell their farms. That's happening a lot, and it's being picked up and bought pennies on the dollar farmland for all kinds of other little interests, all in the guise of, it's for the environment. So we're losing farmland quickly, not just in California, and all across the nation. I'm glad that this happened today. I hope you stick around. I got some more candidates coming in. Excuse me one quick second. Excuse me. You're watching live right now. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you could just hit that like button wherever you're watching. That helps algorithms. And if you share these shows, that also helps too. I've had Meta review all of my platforms. I lost all my Facebook pages and Instagram last summer. So that's 40,000 people. I used to have a way to let them know I got a new show up. Now I don't. Hey, Jennifer. David, just talking about you on the air. Do you have time to go on? Come on over. Oh, shoot. Stupid knees always getting in the way. What's up, Bubba? How have you been?
Good. How about you?
Borderline amazing.
Yeah, right. I love seeing you at the events. So it's like the highlight of my thing to make sure you're here.
I appreciate that. I love that a lot of, especially since we're at the Robert Union's Farm Center,
Sure.
A lot of the talk today, even though it was a Make America Healthy Again kind of symposium, and tomorrow is going to be all the political candidates for the most part, focusing on you and the race that you're in and all the others who will be on stage. Farming was a big topic today.
Absolutely.
And you threw out some stats that I didn't even know. Stunned me. You know what? You and I both come from the same background.
Sure.
I grew up working on ranching, farming. But you threw out some stats about just water alone and what's going on, how they've made it so tough, as I was just trying to explain, on farmers to even sustain a living, make a living that they're getting out. And entities are buying up farmland, pennies on the dollar, and turning it into their little projects, including smart cities and all that.
Solar farms.
Yeah, solar farm, one is being proposed here.
Yep.
So talk about that again, share that, some of the stuff you were seeing on stage today.
Well, we have emergency drought regulations in effect that gives the state water board unelected officials more power than anyone in the state. I mean, they have just as much power as the governor. You know, it's insane what they can do. Unlimited funding, unlimited resources to attorneys, you name it, and they come after the farmers and their water. And until that is gone, they're going to keep pushing us out. And then when the farmers go under, the farms are sold for pennies on the dollar and turned into solar farms, turned into conservation, anything but farming. So
I will never forget, started with Jerry Brown about, you're not going to have your little lawn in the front yard anymore. Remember him saying all that crap? And then Gavin Newsom comes along. It was just a couple of years ago. We had huge amounts of rain, great big snowpack. All of us are going, this is great. Maybe for once in I don't know how long, we won't be declared a drought year, and we'll get some freedom from all of this oppressive water tightening and so on. No, oh no. Gavin said, oh no, we're still in a drought. How come all these idiots all talk like that, by the way? It's like some kind of Bond villain.
money.
Money, that's it. That's it.
Yep.
What kind of money? Because I learned that if you have wells, but you got to have some pretty deep wells to actually sustain. Let's say you have 200 acres, even something that small. You're not going to have wells big enough to be able to supply enough water for that. You got to have irrigation coming in, and these farmers are being charged. I heard numbers thrown out today, like $10,000, even $20,000 per month for water.
It just depends. Where I'm at, I have a water right. I don't have to pay anything for my water, just the power to pump it, because I got a 1880 water right. Some guys that have drilled recently, some have to pay for stuff. Any kind of water district that's importing water from different rivers or dams, they probably have to pay for stuff. So it depends where you live. Every area is different on water availability and cost. So it all just depends. You know, a lot of guys have deep wells that are 200-300 feet deep or even deeper that can pump a lot of water. So it just depends where you're at and what location.
Lieutenant Governor, you're running for Lieutenant Governor.
Yep.
And you've never run for office before. This is all new to you, and those are the people who are my heroes. Nothing changes until you get good people running for office. You don't see a lot of farmers. George Radonovich comes to mind. You don't see a lot of successful farmers running for office, though. What makes you different? Why would people want to consider you for Lieutenant Governor of the state?
Well, because I advocate for farmers. You know, agriculture is one of the biggest things in our state, and nobody's fighting for it like I am. And somebody needs to get in there and fight for it like I am.
Amen. Where do we find you?
Collenberg26.com, or if you're on social media, it's Collenberg for Lieutenant Governor 2026.
And spell your last name for everyone who doesn't know.
Yep, Collenberg.
E-R-G, not U-R-G. All right, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Go get them.
Yep, talk soon.
Okay, you bet. Come on over, Elaine.
Your turn. Good. Another farmer in the house.
Another farmer in the house. And that's what we were talking about a lot. Welcome.
How you been?
I've been borderline amazing as far as you know.
As far as I can tell.
As far as you can tell.
Let me see here. Let me pull this down in case anybody wants to donate to my campaign.
Oh, good. There you go. Do your little QR code. So, where are you from originally?
Born and raised pretty much as a world traveler. My dad was in the military.
Oh, good. What branch?
So he was Air Force fighter pilot, F-100s and F-111s.
Shut up.
Yeah.
He was an actual pilot?
Yeah, he was really good.
Oh, that's very cool.
He flew so fast.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a really incredible person in my life. And then he retired in Colorado at the end of the 70s. My mom's still there. My dad passed away in 2014. I miss him every day. And my brothers are still there. And then after high school, I moved to Arizona and then for college, and then I came here. So I've been here since 1991.
Elaine Kulati.
Elaine Kulati.
And you're running for?
I'm running for governor of California. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Elaine Kulati, and I am running for governor of California. And I'm running as a no party preference, which is kind of no man's land. But trust me when I tell you, I'm the best candidate.
You said one thing on stage that rings very, very true. There are massive amounts of people in our own state who will never vote for an R in front of their name. Never. So you are in PP. So is Daniel Mercury and Louis Herms. I'm not sure who else. I think Scott Shields running as a Democrat. But you are you? Tell me about how conservative you are for anybody who wants to consider somebody without an R in front of their name.
I'm pretty conservative. I'm not going to lie. So the issue for me about running, the reason I'm not running as a Republican is, to be quite honest, I've been a Democrat my whole life. I just couldn't do it anymore. And part of that is because even when I was a Democrat, I was a conservative Democrat. You know, my body, my choice. Sure, I'm a hippie. I mean, I've been here since I was a kid. My kids have all been raised here. I don't like the idea of mandating things for kids, vaccines or otherwise. I don't like the idea of having any of my choices taken away. And so as that started to happen, including censoring things that I might put online and all those things, I got more and more concerned that if I didn't get away from that I was going to become part of the problem. So really, that's kind of what got me into the middle. And also, by the way, I'm not alone. 41% of Californians are in the middle. It's a very big majority. And this is a trend across America: Ohio, Iowa, Florida, Georgia, New Mexico, Arizona. There are lots of people that are in the middle categories, meaning they're either independents, no party preference, undecideds, new majority, Green Party, Libertarian, but not Republicans and not Democrats. And you have to understand that there's a reason they're not a Republican or a Democrat. They need a podium at the stage so that 41% of Californians can be represented in a debate.
Very good. That makes sense. Fiscally conservative, socially, where are you?
It depends on the social topic. I mean, I would never, ever say
Trans kids in school and getting locker room access, boys and girls locker rooms and playing in their sports.
That's a dead no. That's a non-starter. That's a burn it down rule. That's 100% no. But I would never step over a homeless person to go into a restaurant and not help. So I don't know what you call that. And I don't believe in the way that we are helping people. I understand that Democrats are offensive animals and very empathetic people, but there's nothing empathetic about letting people sleep on the streets.
I don't think they're all that empathetic if you've been a target like I have, merely because I don't think the same way they do. I don't see a lot of empathy for anyone who doesn't think exactly how they think. It's a mind hive kind of bizarre, talk about a cult almost. That's the left to me anymore.
Well, I always try to think of it, Charlie, like a horseshoe. Okay? Think of it like a horseshoe. There's the deep left, which is the democratic socialist and all the crazy things like transing kids in schools. And there's also this deep right. And so if you get to the deep, deep right and you have all the crazy stuff that the right is also, really, really intent about, I call that at the bottom of the horseshoe, the uniparty. I call that where bad ideas run into each other. Okay? Let's just try to think of it like that. And as you get to the top of the horseshoe, where it's really broad, that's where sanity lives. Okay? That's where common sense survives. All right? Yeah. That's where policy should be drafted. When we get down to the bottom, for all that don't understand politics and how I see it, maybe I'm wrong, but this is just how I see it. At the bottom, where the uniparty is, we're not going to talk, we're not going to play and hang out there because no one's going to get along. We're going to go up a little bit. We're going to talk about the things that we agree on. Okay? We definitely agree in the First Amendment. All right?
Amen. And
we have the Second Amendment to protect the First Amendment. Amen. So we're not going to take it apart. Okay? Right. We have to think about things logically. And things that are old. I mean, the Constitution's pretty old. We've all been living with it for a really long time. and I don't want to tear it up. I'm just not.
And I don't want to tear it up.
I'm not ready.
I love it. Where do we find you? How do we help?
You can find me on Culotti4California.com. Culotti is spelled Culotti, Culotti4California.com. If you do visit me and you do want to donate to my campaign, please, $1 from 1,000 people, not $1,000 from one person.
There you go. I like that.
I need engagement.
I love that. It was a pleasure meeting you, and I'm so glad because you're already on my radar, and I saw you at the convention down in San Diego, and I went, I gotta get her on. You were talking to my friend Ramin.
I love Ramin.
He's like a big personality, and you dwarfed him. I gotta talk to her, Elaine.
Yeah, I mean, listen, one of the things I think that is really important at becoming this sort of political figure is that you have to be outgoing, and you have to get right to the point so you don't lose people. So politics aren't that interesting, really.
No. Thank you very much for your
Thank you
time.
for
All
having me. I
right.
appreciate
All right.
you.
We'll see you. You got my card?
I'm gonna get it now.
Yeah.
Get it while
there
the
you
getting's
go.
good.
All right. Get it while the getting's good.
You ready?
Yes, ma'am. Come on over. Hello, Joni. Hello. Thank you. Please come on over.
God, I just had like a corn chip so far in my breath.
Oh, I love corn chips. If I'm going to eat chips, it's going to be those Gallardi.
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 Yeah.
Okay. We are live right now, so.
Hello.
Excuse me. I'll do some editing though in the final show. We'll put it all together, make it
Oh, looks good.
all nice and pretty.
Nice little ring light.
You think so? Move to your right, please. Come closer to me.
How's that?
Tilt this up a little bit. It's fantastic.
It's okay.
Jennifer Gallardi, 5, 4, 3. This is Jennifer Gallardi. She's with the Heritage Foundation. Have you ever heard of the Heritage Foundation? No? Wait, there's more. Please tell us about the Heritage Foundation, because I love what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. We're a conservative think tank in Washington, D.C. We have a C3 and we also have a C4, which is Heritage Action. We work on policy, everything from national security to healthcare, and now specifically the MAHA movement stuff. I'm along with my colleague, Jay Richards, we run the Restoring American Wellness Initiative for Heritage Foundation, which, deals with a lot of the MAHA issues that, frankly, Congress, the executive office never even heard of until Robert F. Kennedy Jr. came along. So it's really a new area. I like to say I think I have some job security for a while, because a lot of these legislatures and even, frankly, the American public, we weren't having these conversations until Robert F. Kennedy Jr. came to the stage and really joined Trump and aligned forces and really realigned the Republican Party.
There's a lot of groups like that. A lot of them are called political action committees or think tanks, as you said. But they're so fly by night, and they all have nice little names, and they all sound cute. And then you find out what they're really all about is some kind of left-wing nutbag conspiracy going on. Heritage Foundation's been around a long time.
Yes, we have been around a long time. I'm trying to think, we just celebrated some anniversary. I just started a year ago, so the history isn't as known. But yes, we are one of the oldest institutions in Washington, D.C. And
Conservative, always conservative.
Conservative, yes. And that has shifted, what it means to be a conservative. I think the one thing that hasn't shifted is the timeless principles of conservatism. I'm actually rereading Russell Kirk's book. It's kind of an introductory guide, or he's got some longer ones to conservative principles. And it is a lot of it guided by faith. That's an important part. Love for humanity, love for the human person, and not these abstract ideals that progressives kind of speak of. They talk about love, peace, and charity, but it only extends to like the abstract. They're very quick to support, a Renee Good or somebody like that, somebody they don't know, but very short on empathy for their neighbor. Right, and their local communities. So they're good on these kind of large scale BLM, right? They'll put the logo around their face on the Facebook page, or I got vaccinated. But it comes to actually helping the people right in front of them, even their own children and their own families, it doesn't extend there. And conservatism really is about
They're
first
all
things
about
first.
tolerance and freedom of speech.
As long as you
Unless, of
believe,
course, you're not if you're a
Right,
conservative,
right.
forget it, all bets are off.
right. So anyway, I would really encourage everybody to read some Russell Kirk, some Edward Burke, because you can say you're a Republican or a Democrat, but what it means to be a conservative is very principled. It's foundational, and I think if you know those things, then you can have a debate, have a conversation from that place instead of from a place of ideology.
Come all the way out here from DC for this event.
I did, yes. I flew in yesterday. Yeah, late last night, and I go home early tomorrow morning.
Oh, you're not going to be here for the whole
I
campaign.
won't, unfortunately. Like I said, I was a progressive. I moved out to California and became very progressive. I was brought up quite conservative. But what I learned is that the most important thing to me is, I was always, everyone's like, oh, you're a gypsy. I traveled the world a lot, right? I did everything that I wanted to do, but I still was not happy and I wasn't fulfilled. And when I kind of returned to my conservative roots and to the principles of conservative and put first things first, family, I moved back east to be closer to my parents and my family. I got settled. I have a home, piece of land, relationships that are fulfilling, things that are stable and steady, and kind
Now
of,
you want to protect it.
and you just want to go home to it. Like I'm very happy and contented now with a lot less, and my heart is full, and plus a return to Christianity that helped a lot on my path. But that said, it's like I can't wait to get home. The best part of travel for me now is going home to the people and the things I love.
Thank you for what you're doing. And where do we find you, or where do we find the Heritage Foundation?
heritagefoundation.org. Our Restoring American Wellness initiative is up there. You'll find, I write a lot. So I've written for the Federalist, the Epoch Times. I now write things for Heritage. American Spectator is a lot of my work. I do a lot with kind of feminism, the history of feminism, how that I think is very quietly or not so quietly destroying the foundation of American principles as well. Because if you separate the natural affections and the complementarity of men and women, you can really destroy the family. And by destroying the family, you will destroy this nation.
Isn't that the goal?
Yeah. So
I mean, that's the enemy's goal. You take out the family, take out the head of the household, take out the male, label them toxic masculinity and so on and so forth, and shut them up, shut them down, and tear apart the family. That's exactly what the devil wants.
well, you invert the natural, or you invert God's order, right? You make what's evil look good and what's good look evil.
Just like the word says.
Yeah. So anyway, I do some work on that. I've written a lot about that. But you can go to Heritage Foundation, and then we've also started a podcast called the Restoring American Wellness Podcast. You can find that on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and we have a lot of thought leaders in the MAHA movements, and you'll hear different opinions. The difficulty it is in the federal government to actually get this stuff done. I think, a lot of people are frustrated with where Secretary Kennedy, where seemingly he's going, and you have to understand he's in the belly of the beast. He's got every force you could imagine opposing what he's trying to do, opposing change. People don't want change. And so it may seem incremental, it may seem small, but you have to remember the pace at which DC works is monolithic, and it's very, very slow. The fact that he's even been able to do anything, right? And he's getting a lot of pushback, and if we don't succeed in the midterms, if we lose the Senate and the House, we're screwed.
Done.
So we have to,
As a nation, we're done.
Yeah, you really, because will just be 2 years of litigation. Like, we won't be able to do anything. But I really hope the MAHA movement, and I think it will outlast this administration. I think it is a new political force that candidates are going to have to contend with and address.
Amen. It's about time.
It's children's health, and there's really nothing more important to the future of our country.
Pleasure meeting you. I'm so glad I was here and got to meet you, because I
you.
love what you're doing. I love the foundation.
Thank you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
pleasure to be here.
It's awesome. And we'll continue in just a bit. Find out who we got coming up next. Thank you for joining me. And you can you can share these shows. You'll be helping that way. Facebook shut down all my pages last June because a little show I did about Pride Month
Oh yeah,
seemed to upset somebody.
You can't can't go
They believe
after gay
everyone
marriage. You
Yeah,
cannot
yeah,
go
yeah.
after pride.
No,
Well,
no.
what's ironic is, isn't pride a sin? Isn't one of the
that's, and it
But,
comes
you know,
before
we're
the
celebrating.
fall.
Yes, pride comes before the fall. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we will continue here. I'll find out who's coming up next, and I'll be right with you. Thank you for being here with me. If you give me a second, I'd appreciate it.
All right.
so much.
Yeah, nice to meet you. God
too,
bless.
really.
Thank you.
Oh,
Be
can I get
well.
a selfie with you?
Sure.
I really am a big fan of what you all are doing.
Oh, thank you.
It makes me happy to have met you.
Well,
And I want to have you on again, please.
yeah. Yep.
Look at this nice background we have here. Looks like a mug shot.
It's like Trump shot.
It looks like Trump shot, yeah. Thank you.
You are welcome. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
Steer clear of TSA. I guess I'm gonna have to get up and find out who's coming up next. I would just keep talking to you to keep you watching, but you and I both know I'm not all that good at that. Hi.
Man, Michael, cricket. I'm Kelly Johnson, buddy. I rode my car, that's Jackie.
Oh, got it.
Kelly, right?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, hey, we got a break. Can I ask you to please go to my website, charliesimons.com, right down there below you there? Check out my merch store. Here's one of the hats I have on there. I love this one. This is called the Distressed Dad Hat. I love this hat. Become my favorite. I got a whole bunch of hats, mugs, shirts on there. And when you purchase some of these products, you're helping me out tremendously. You're helping the show stay on the air because they share the profits with me. And I know you're like, I'm not going to pay $20 for a coffee mug. It's an awesome coffee mug that says, let's talk about politics and religion. And it's big old 15-ounce mug too. But that's because you're helping support the show. So if you can go to the website, I sure would appreciate that. charliesimons.com, CharlieSimons. Lewis.
You have time for me, Charlie?
I hope so. I've been waiting on you. Come on in, brother. Have a seat. Oh, let's see how that shot looks. Get you more to your right. Move closer to me, please. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. I'm going to crop the shot and everything and produce this later, but we are live on several platforms right now. But people who follow when I do these kind of events, they know there's like all these dead spots in between having people come in. And our stage manager seems to be up there actually interviewing somebody instead of bringing you all in. Dude. All right, here we go. This is Lewis Herms. 5, 4, 3. Lewis Herms is one of the very first candidates running for governor of the state of California that I had on my show. when my own Republican Party was telling me, yeah, don't talk to these grassroots people. I'm not kidding. I think you and I have talked about this on the show before too. Higher ups in the Republican Party. Yeah, Charlie, no, let the party pick, and then you can promote them. I said, well, that's not exactly how the media works. And I'm a media guy first and foremost. So I'm going to continue talking to these people. Lewis impressed me right out of the gate. He still remains one of my absolute favorites. I hope he wins. But with the Republican Party not even able to come together to endorse a Republican candidate for governor, and I was there when that whole travesty and ridiculousness happened. As no party preference, you're very conservative.
Yes.
You don't hide that at all. But you're not going to put that label in front of your name, because that is, in your mind and many others, unwinnable in the state of California now.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. It has nothing to do with whether it's winnable or not. I think it's the right thing to do. And the reason why is because I personally feel the California GOP is corrupt. I think they're a captured operation. I think they have no intention to win, and they actually raise a lot more money when they lose.
We've talked about this too. I said I'm quite convinced now they love being in second place because it's easier to fundraise.
Absolutely. And guess what happens if they win? They'd have to be accountable for results. God forbid they were accountable, right? And the other thing that the dirty little secret people don't want to talk about, in California, the Republican Party is 24%. The non-Democrat, non-Republicans are 30%, right? And even though I'm very conservative, I respect the founding fathers a lot more than I respect the GOP. And the founding fathers indicated to us that a two-party system is going to be the death of America. Thomas Jefferson said, hey, if I have to take a political party just to get into heaven, he goes, I'm not taking a political party. That's Thomas Jefferson. So I think they're a hell of a lot smarter than I am. They spent a lot more time figuring this out. So I'm going to take their lead.
How's it been?
It's been phenomenal and very rough. And here's why it's rough. Well, I mean, the great news is we're traveling all around. I'm the only candidate in history that's decided to visit every single county elections office and interview every one of them. I'm on tour right now. I've done 48, 10 left.
He's got his own bus. You should see it. It's quite fantastic.
Yeah. So we are pushing the envelope on everything. Now, I'm told that I'm the leading independent candidate by a long shot. Yet, why is it that none of the major debates we are invited to them?
Nope.
Now, I will tell you, I'm not going to give his name out, but I say one of the top two candidates on the conservative, the Republican side, said, Lewis, you are the guy I'm be most concerned about if you got traction. But he says, I have something in my pocket, which he explained. And of course, we're not going to get traction within the masses because they're not putting us in front of the masses. So we have some pretty cool things coming up in the next 5 days that hopefully will get our name out to the public. One of the guys running for Lieutenant Governor Day, he said, Lewis, I don't understand. He goes, everywhere I go, they're talking about your candidacy, but you're not on the debate stage. There's no media. All the media is ignoring you. I go,
excuse me. Scott Shields said that on stage too. And I'm like, dude, well, I've had you on how many times?
You're right. I'm saying all the considered the mainstream media, yes, okay, has completely ignored us. Ironically, I was actually interviewed by KTLA Channel 5 in Los Angeles, which is a huge, huge station, right?
That's huge, yeah.
They didn't play the interview. This is the stuff that we're up against. And imagine if we actually had an opportunity to get our word out. There's no doubt that our policies are what the people are looking for.
Yes.
They are absolutely what people are looking for. So that's what we're up against. But for every person that says, well, I have to vote for a guy that I think is going to win, well, I have to say that now you're the problem. If we continue to do what we do, we're going to get what we got. We, the people, have to change things. We have to flip it on its head. And I would say to people, and this has nothing to do with me, this is anybody, is I would say, let's dissolve from the notion that party is more important than the people. The people are the most important. So does the guy I'm talking to have a great track record? Does he have great policies? Is he honest? Is he transparent? Okay, let's take a look at him. Don't worry about the letter next to that name anymore, because I think it gives us an illusion of choice. And Plato mentioned the way to control a society 2,500 years ago is by using this technique. Machiavelli, this is exactly what he did to control society. He puts up an illusion of choice, because what happens is if you're told the only people that you can vote for, right? I can tell you there's 65 people on the ballot right now. Less than 5% of people even know that there's more than 5 or 6 people on the ballot.
I'm confused by it, frankly, because my president elected to endorse a candidate before the Republican convention even got a chance to vote as to whom they were going to endorse. He comes out and he endorses Steve Hilton. And I was like, wait, what? What? Why? Why did he do that? Does he even know you?
Well, I'm told he does. I mean, I sent him a letter certified. Peter Tickton, his best friend, read what I did in regards to elections, and he said it was brilliant. In fact, he said, "You're an American hero." And then he had a lunch with Trump, I think it was 3 days later, or dinner with Trump 3 days later. And out of the 10 recommendations I gave to President Trump in regards to the elections, 10 points, 3 of them he's already put out posts going for. Don't know if he's using mine or somebody else's information. And frankly, it doesn't care. I don't do this for President Trump. I don't do this for the Republicans, right? I just work for the people. That's all I am. But I take my direction from God. So I'm just going to keep doing it. And that's all I can possibly do.
One thing you have to do with the media people, media people are giving you any kind of attention. They always, so many of them ask the same dang questions over and over and over again. What's the one question you wish just one of us would ask you?
It's great. Why do you think you can make the difference? What is it about you? And I'd say it's a great question, and everybody probably should get that. And it really isn't about me. It's because I've already, over the last 6 years, I've proven that it's not about me. It's about we. It's about we the people. And I've connected, and I've driven my whole family unit almost into poverty because we put everything into this, right? Why is that important? Because if you have somebody that's willing to put it all on the line for we the people, they're not going to be bought off. That's somebody that's going to get in there and actually do everything we can for you. And I must be doing something right, because the Southern Poverty Law Center has me as the #1 person on their hate map 3 years running in California.
Southern Poverty Law Center is now in the sights of the Department of Justice, the FBI, and I couldn't be happier. Yeah. That super ridiculous, bloated collective of communists are finally about to get theirs.
They are. And the fact that I'm listed 3 times in California and I've been #1 for years running, I believe that means we're doing something right.
Right.
I'm not wrong, because I'm not a hateful person. I'm not a racist or anti-Semite or anything. I am a tinfoil hat wearer, so they can keep that moniker if they want to. But that's the reality, though. So that just proves that we've been doing something right for a long time. But if anybody understands the way the SPLC works, they embed their people all through social media, all through mainstream media, in the politics, and it influences the decisions, and they can tweak your accounts and give you little flags so you get shadow banned and so on and so forth. So they've got a
wait, what?
Yes, so they're embedded within all the social media. And what that means is this. So you know how you have community notes from the outside? Well, with the inside of this, they can put these little tags on your account. We've already did a forensic audit on X. So only about 20 to 25% of our posts go as far as they should go, right? I mean, 20 to 25%.
I had no idea they had that kind of power.
Oh, no, it gets a lot deeper than that. They're embedded in politics, lobbyists, everything. And it's constantly to control the narrative, right? So what happens is they have something called a hate map on their website. So they place it up there. And it's very smart. People always underestimate the enemy and call them stupid. No, they're very intelligent. So what they've done That's a dog whistle. So they're not blatantly saying, we're going to pay to go after these guys. What they're saying to their proxies and everybody else is, this is who you attack. This is who you go after. So me being up there, my organizations are up there 3 different times.
Everything that's happened to me, I wonder if I'm on that list.
You might be. You should look it up. I will. You should look it up. It is amazing what they're doing. So we have to expose it. But the idea is if you're going to vote for a governor, don't you really want somebody that's willing to put it all in line, willing to fight that hard? I think you would. That's the guy I would be looking for.
Where do we find you? How do we do that?
Sure. Just go to hermsforcali.com. That's HERMS, M like Mary, S like Sam, forcali.com. hermsforcali.com.
Throw some money his way. I keep saying, oh, by the way, checking mail. I got my latest mailer from the California Republican Party. I'm so done, and I'm a delegate. And I am just so done with it. I am fully with you on this. This has been infiltrated. This has been, we have a hapless, feckless, ridiculous. I'd like to think that, but actually I don't think it's by accident that the Republican Party is in such bad shape as it is now in the state of California.
It's by design. And I'm going to say, I actually think that in California, the Republican Party and Democratic Party are in cahoots with each other.
It seems like
it does, doesn't it? It's sad.
Herms for Cali, HERMSFORCALI, hermsforcali.com. Help them out. I mean, just that bus alone. What kind of mileage you get on that?
About 7 to 8.
See, there you go. So he could use a tank of fuel. That would be nice if he could help with that. But even just the $20 throwing it his way, because he came all the way from SoCal to be here at this event. And I appreciate you more than you know, but I have from the beginning.
Thank
you. I think you're an extraordinary gentleman, and I want you to
Senior Simons, everybody.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much, man. All right.
Take care.
You bet. Okay, give me a quick second, and I'll see who we're wrangling next. Absolutely. Excuse me. It's such a great opportunity to get to meet these people, and nobody else is putting these folks on like I have been, and a few others that are here. My buddy Paul from the California Patriot Project, he is here. Also Ramin Real Talk, he is here. That's all right. That's okay. I'm just padding time till the next person comes in. Thank you. Where's Kelly? Kelly Johnson. You know who he is? Well, he's supposed to be bringing people in. I guess not. But yeah. Yeah, huh? Yeah. Come on in, brother. Come on in. Please have a seat.
I didn't bring my cocaine.
This time. All right. This is Daniel Mercury. And 5, 4, 3. Continuing from the Take Our California Back event on this Friday, April 2026. We've got the last Friday of the month. We've got Daniel Mercury here. He was part of the lineup for the Make America Healthy Again symposium that was today. Tomorrow is the actual candidates forum.
Yes.
And that's where all the public is invited. And you're so able to win a lot of hearts and minds and change people. Thinking more along the lines of maybe it's time we do something different instead of being enslaved by a particular party. But not enough people are hearing you. Even though you're out there all the time, you make videos, you do great work. I see your stuff. Navy veteran, stud, and a successful businessman and entrepreneur. And he just decided, I got to do something bigger and better. Something that is above self, and that's been your campaign running for governor.
Well, you know, the
started
thing
with the recall election of Governor Hairdo.
Actually, it started with Congress in 2019. So in 2019, in June, we were having fires, and actually the year before, and we were having some subsidies, smaller fires regionally, and it just kept going, and so we were being evacuated on my side of the street. And then across the street, my neighbors were asking, "Where are you going?" And we said, "Well, we got the evacuation phone call. Didn't you get the phone calls?" And they said, "No." So we walked up and down the whole neighborhood, about maybe 2 blocks, just to check, because the fires were coming close. And on one side of the street, they weren't getting the phone call, but on my side of the street, we were getting the phone call. So why were we being evacuated, but they were not? And I knew at that moment something was thrown off. And so I started calling my local representative, state senator, my board of supervisors, all these people. Nobody was picking up the phone. And so I didn't understand why everybody was getting ignored. So finally, I called my congressional representative. At that time, it was Katie Hill. And Katie Hill had only been in office for just, maybe a handful of months, maybe I think around 4 months, 5 months. And so it was around the June timeframe that one of her administrators said, "I think she's going to be stepping down." But I was like, "She just got in." And they said, "Well, there was a scandal going on." And the administrator was kind of divulging in a very kind of angry manner. In other words, she was hoping that Katie would not bow out. Katie didn't make her announcement until later on the end of the year, but I had already known about that because of her administrator who was closing up shop. So one of her offices in my area was being closed up. So I started going around knocking on doors to see if I would even get support. And then when people were like, "Yeah, I didn't know Katie was going to be bowing out," I said, "Well, we're going to get an announcement like in probably in October, November." Sure enough, I think it was at the end of October-ish, she made her announcement that she was stepping down and why she was stepping down. And
did she give a reason?
Yeah, well, she felt like, she said in one of her speeches that she felt like, being in office, it was very misogynistic. The scandal that came out that she had an affair with, one of her staff members. And
so every all of the same sex.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
At least that's what it was alleged, from what I can remember. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
And that's misogynistic.
Right. I know. Well, and so in this incident, I realized, well, we couldn't have be without representation. The adjacent representative couldn't do anything for us. And so there needed to be a special election, which is what ended up happening. We ended up having a special election. And so I threw my hat in the ring and I went back around knocking on those same doors and I asked for signatures. Stopped counting after like 300. I was just footing it. And then I started saying just the things that I was saying. I just started saying things that I felt like I wanted to hear and what I wanted to know and why, the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing. Right. And when that happened, I started getting phone calls from special interest groups and from unions and super PACs and lobbyists and very powerful families, rich families in the state of California, especially in the area that I was in, that was, I guess, is considered a purple district, meaning a lot of people didn't vote their registered party. And it was very known in my district for that. And that's when the money was being offered to me. That's when contracts were being offered to me. That's when I was really starting to understand how deep the corruption was going and how many different branches it covers. And when I realized that, I could see why so many people, when I would go to, board of supervisor meetings, and I started sitting in city council meetings, and I was going to school board meetings, and I was just sitting in the back, and people were screaming. I mean, I'd been to 1 or 2 town halls, but not to the amount that I started attending. And people were just so irate. They were just so angry, and tears were coming out of their eyes. And I could feel their pain because I was equally as frustrated, but maybe not to their extent because of the fact that they had a different, problem and an issue, but I could feel that pain, and it made me want to fight harder. And when I started realizing, well, why are they getting away with what they're doing? Right. And when people go to express vehemently, their anger, they have that right under the First Amendment. And it's even been ruled in the Supreme Court that you may and have the authority to lash out in anger verbally, and that you can vehemently express yourself, that you cannot be kicked out. Well, what's happening right now? Board of Supervisors are kicking out people because they don't like what they're hearing. They don't want to be offended. They call it, hate speech. And this is all rhetoric designed to chip away at the most powerful thing that we have in our country.
And to smack down anybody who is daring to show up and actually start trying to have more of a say in how they're being governed.
Absolutely. And this is what really started lighting a firecracker under me, was to say, wait, no, that's not right. It's not lawful. It's illegal. And they're violating the rights. They're there to secure the rights. They're not there to sit there and hear sweet nothings to their ear. They're there to hear the redresses and grievances of the people of their district.
Right.
End of story. What am I missing? So I just went deeper and deeper, and just rabbit hole after rabbit hole. And finally, after that congressional race and all the exposure, I mean, I can go on all day about it, but I took a step back, and I said to myself, I never want to come back into this. I mean, politics is just one of the most vile, evil arenas that I think anybody could ever step in.
Truly.
And then I felt like, being a man of faith and believing in Jesus and, praying about it, I just felt like, suddenly I felt like I turned my back on God. And I didn't want to do it. And I started having, dreams and prophetic dreams. And I had already had one when I was running for office. And finally, I just felt like, okay, I was hearing a voice telling me, run again. And that dream that I had initially had, my wife had interpreted, which she had never done before. And so I realized that the dream was making more sense. And so it was pressed upon my heart to keep going. Only this time I realized, if there's going to be any real change in the state of California, it has to be at the seat of governor. There's no other seat. So I studied my Bible, and I remember the verse that says, study and show yourself approved. And because of that, I started going down every branch that I could, looking into case law and studying, past rulings and what things that have set precedents. I started looking at vested authorities with the legislature, started paying attention to the language, realizing that they're changing the language to change perception so they can disrupt linguistical canons, which then allows for them to pass repugnancy. Once I realized that, reading state legislature, bills that they try to pass are completely vile and egregious. And it's so easy now for me to just look at it and look through all the jargon, and I'm just looking for one or two phrases that are antithetical. And the minute I find it is the second I know that this bill has ulterior motives. It's so easy now when I see this. And they draft here in California, between 2,000 and 5,000 bills a year, and they sign into law 1,000 of those. That is not to the benefit of the people of California.
And so much of it is so redundant.
It's overtly redundant.
Over and over and over.
100%. And then they sneak in different issues in there, which is why in one way they don't pass a bill, but they did in another area where they maybe codify something, or they change a code under a sleight of hand in a prop. And people don't read this. And then they wonder how they lost custody of their child. They wonder how they lost custody of their property. They wonder why, now all of a sudden our state can get into, private trusts. How are they able to do this? It totally eviscerates any ability for you to safeguard yourself from corrupt government.
They can actually go into somebody's trust now?
Yes. Yeah, we actually have. They just passed them. They passed 2 years ago, and then I think they just passed one just recently. Right now, they can pretty much, if you wanted to leave any sort of you want to pass something down to your children, and you put it in a trust so that government can't touch it.
And so it was always the idea.
Yeah, and well, now they've already passed a bill that says that they can now. And it's here in the state of California. That's again.
I mean, the media and I did not know that had happened.
Because people don't read the bills. You don't. When do you have time to say, oh great, they only passed, or they're drafting only 1,500 bills this year, love? Could you grab me all of them? No one's. And then what are they? If you print them out, they're anywhere from 5 pages to 500 pages.
How can the governor? Because the governor does not make law. The legislative portion of our state government does all that.
Right.
The governor can make a mandate, as we saw during the COVID shutdown, when Gavin Newsom trying to act like he was supreme leader, telling you can't even go to church. I'll never forget when he made the announcement that, well, you could go to church now, but you can't sing.
Well, so yeah,
anyone remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you can go to church, but you just can't sing.
Can't sing.
Right? Yeah, you can't breathe that out. Well, so I talked today about the California Emergent Services Act, CESA. CESA is actually illegal under the Constitution because when you talk about consolidated vested authorities, the Constitution doesn't allow for that. I can't share your authority if you're a legislature, and a legislature can't of the judicial, and vice versa all the way around, right? So how is it that they were able to give broad consolidated powers? You can't, but they did it anyway. And so, of course, corrupt judges
Which is
allow for it.
the way they do things here in California now. They just literally do it anyway.
They do it anyway.
Challenge it in court, like the redistricting, Prop
Right.
50. What a completely
They-
unconstitutional boondoggle that is. But yet the damage is done and it will adversely affect the midterm election. And that was the goal.
That was always the goal. And so they totally eviscerated the state constitution. The state constitution didn't allow that. The legislature couldn't even propose it, because in the legislature, inside the state constitution, it says that the commission, right, that's comprised of the people that do the redistricting within a period of every 10 years, and it has to align, with other certain election cycles. So the legislature couldn't even propose it because it was already set in the state constitution. That's the highest authority of the state. So it shouldn't even been a proposal. But when people don't read their state constitution, they think, oh, it's a great idea. Yeah, they're just proposing it so we can update. No, it can't. It couldn't have even been on there because the commission was in charge, not the legislature. That's why that's in our state constitution, because it prevented exactly with what just happened. So they completely bypassed it. So every single legislator that actually allowed for that should be forcibly removed from their position, and can be forcibly removed from their position because it was a violation of their oath of office.
As governor of the state of California, as I said, governor doesn't make law. How could you stop that kind of ridiculousness?
So one of the biggest things that nobody ever does is nobody ever performs expedient investigations, right? We don't expedite an investigation, but you can't just stop there, right? Because a lot of times people say, well, most of the time, the executive branch can't really actually investigate into, a legislative branch or the judicial branch. That's actually not true, because a lot of people are frustrated with President Trump because they're like, why doesn't President Trump move forward? Well, President Trump there's never been a president in his situation. So there's no actual pathway because, well, it's never been done before. Not that it can't be done, and not that it's not possible or have ever been attempted. You just have to go back through past court cases. If you look at California right now, you'll notice that if you go in the past of our representatives at, say sheriffs, we've had congressionals and we've had House senators and assembly. We've had people actually removed from from their seats before. But why were they removed? And that's the part that I know about that proves that it can be done, because it has already happened. So you have to mirror what has already been set precedents. That's one area that I know I'm going to be doing if you put me in as governor, to get these people out of office forcibly, and then they're going to be charged. But there's a couple of different methods that the governor can utilize to ensure that, one, the branch that is being investigated by the chief executive, especially in a new seat because you have a limited time, to how to isolate that branch. I'm not going to say exactly how, but I will tell you off camera. But it's a particular way that the governor can do to isolate the branch, to perform the investigation, and then get them removed immediately. And then the governor can appoint.
Is it on your website?
It's not on my website.
No.
Because if I'm elected, one of the biggest things is people have called me where I purposely leave out some information, because I don't want to divulge everything. One, because listen,
Can't play your hand.
right? I'm not going to divulge my hand to the enemy, right? And then number two, a lot of people want this information, but it's like, listen, if you want me in, then vote for me. And I'm going to start providing it for you, because now I know you really want it and you're ready for it. But if you're not ready for it, why am I going to divulge it? You don't want it.
Great point. Where do we find you? And I strongly suggest you please go to his website and start doing a little research. We only have, just
4 weeks.
4 weeks. June 2nd is the primary, and elections are won and lost in California at the primary elections because of our stupid jungle primary, which I am going to ask you about that in a second too. Yeah. But where do we find your website?
So just go to danielforcalgovernor.com. So that's Daniel, DANIEL, for FOR, Cal, CAL, governor.com. And, you can go on my policies page. You can read up on all my policies. I always tell people this too. A lot of people say stuff, and I have to bring this up. So if you give me a second, a lot of people will say, well, Daniel said certain things. I may have in some interviews in the past and so on. If it's there, I said it because I'm on record of saying it. But a lot of people have pulled up stuff where you fill out these questionnaires, and people, they want voter guide stuff. It's different. There are countless groups. I can't fill them all out. A lot of times I don't fill them out, because in the past, during the recall, I thought that was a good idea. And I started noticing that Democrats' answers were on my profile. or Green Party or, American Independent. Somebody else's answer was on my profile, or it was on a profile that I was emailed, but I never filled out, but somebody filled it out for me. Things that was copy and paste. It was bizarre. And I was like, wait a second. And then one of my favorite ones was I found on one of these voter guides where it was my face from when I ran for Congress, not from like the way I look now. Because right after that, I after the recall, I shaved my head and I grew my beard out immediately. Because I had pattern baldness. I'm happy to admit to that. But what was interesting is in one of my interviews, it was transcribed, and then that was put in as an answer to something that I never filled out. And it wasn't even completely accurate, because I went back to the video that was still floating around on the internet, and I was like, well, I didn't say that. I didn't mention that. I never reiterated that. So I always tell people, go to my website and look at my policies. So unless you have a video, which I always say, yeah, that's a video. I said that. And it's probably because I put it out, or it's on my policies page. And if it's not there and it doesn't quite match, then I didn't say it. It's really that simple. But when you don't know this stuff, people say, wait a second, on his website, he says, he's all for 2A. But then I read this voter guide and it says he's completely against 2A. I've always been for 2A. I write about it. I talk about it. I'm a gun owner myself. I'm all for 2A. In fact, people don't know that every state has to choose one either or of being a CCW state or an open carry. It has to be mandatory, not even mandatory, it's law.
And a lot of candidates shy away from that question.
Yeah, because the state has to choose. And the state has to designate, we're going to be a CCW state or we're going to be an open and carry. It can't be both, though. It has to be one or the other. And this is in our title United States codes. So we have elected to be a CCW. The problem with the CCW sometimes, though, is again, right, they chip away at what you can
And
carry.
now each county sheriff is the one responsible for, and good luck getting one in Los Angeles or San Francisco.
Right.
Good luck.
Yeah. So this is, again, it's turning a right into a privilege.
Yeah.
There's limitations to turning a right into a privilege. Yes, we have standards, but you already go through a background investigation when you go through the the Fire Bureau, the Department of Justice and Fire Bureau.
DOJ, yeah.
The deal, right? So when they do that, it's a 10-day cool down period here in California, which is actually one of the longest, right? Well, except for Chicago, they have like the most strictest gun laws, and yet it's a shooting gallery out there. Right. So here in California, this is what we have. And so once you're done with the background, why do you need to go to your local county sheriff? You've already been through the background.
Right.
You're done. That's
Right.
it. So the second you walk out, you're a CCW immediately, at least under my administration. You've already done the background. You've already paid it. You've waited. You did the cool down period. As soon as you walk out, lock and load. You're done. That's it.
Good. I love that. I haven't heard anybody else put it that plainly, running for governor especially, because that's, like I said, everyone shies away from that. I just brought it up. If you have a minute, I'd love to know, because you are, if not one of the most, you're a constitutional scholar, you know the law, so much more so than so many other candidates, and you know the parameters of it. The ridiculous jungle primary that's been inflicted on us as a Republican Party has just all but dismantled and destroyed the Republican Party in California. And unfortunately, it was a Republican governor at the time that really pushed that through, thinking it was such a kind of great idea, Arnold Schwarzenegger. How easy, if you got into governor, would you even be willing to do it? Get rid of that.
Get rid of the jungle primary?
Yes.
I think first off, before we get rid of the jungle primary and reestablish new parameters, because it's definitely a parameter of unbeknownst to the majority of voters. And I think one of the things that we have to do, in my personal opinion, I know a lot of people are against it, but here's why I say this. I just recently read, and actually studying right now, the George Washington's Farewell. And in George Washington's Farewell, he talks about the political party system and to avoid it and to stem away from it because of the fact that it would create an illusion of choice. And so why do we fight for the parties? Right? Because again, it presents something that appears that what we are, the people, are going to be able to have a hand in controlling our government, where really it turns it into a democracy, which is why when you hear people talk about a democracy, right, it's because they're fighting for a centralized government, whereas a constitutional republic, right, we're maintaining the individual rights that are God-given. And so for me, it's time to get rid of the party system altogether. And once we do that, we can establish, along with fair and voting, the integrity of our elections, so that way people can get back to not being forced into being automaton voting.
Well, kind of then the jungle primary is the top two vote getters, period. But they've so rigged elections. They've so rigged the money that's going into candidates and campaigns that the Democrats have just a super majority that seems to be absolutely unbreakable. Even if we've got a Republican governor, is it going to be another repeat of Arnold Schwarzenegger, who came in with a lot of good ideas but couldn't get anything done?
Well, here's the problem with this too, and a lot of people dismiss this. Again, if you go back to the Constitution, there's a word in there that they talk about, and that word is called emolument. What is emolument? We have a new word for it. It's called lobbying. So emolument changed to lobbying, right? When you do the background, you look at the two and you see the differences between what can and cannot be permitted when it comes to emolument. Emolument is gift giving, right? So what do lobbyists do? They gift give when it comes to the next election cycle or to a candidate they like. And so they then perpetuate the problem by buying out under contract your representative before they even get into office. So this is something that as a governor, we can reestablish new parameters so that it prevents lobbying, right? Lobbying is not supposedly was protected under the First Amendment. The problem is that there's no regis and grievance in there. It's a PAC or a union that is trying to secure their legacy to ensure that they have a hand in legislation. There's nothing wrong with having a hand in legislation, but not when it comes with favoritisms, ensuring that that candidate has millions of dollars that is in lockstep with corrupt mainstream media.
Lobbyists get special access to
Yes.
that rest of us don't. We citizens don't. I can't just walk into the Capitol building and go, hey, excuse me, Senator. Yeah, I'm Charlie. Yeah, I got $20. Can you make sure that this passes? I can't even do that. But
No.
yet lobbyists are in there doing that, and they're invited in.
Well, and the reason why they're invited in is because it's called a revolving door. So the revolving door that a lot of people don't know about is if I was once a representative on any level, whether it's local, state, federal, you have to wait 1 year, usually for federal, but states generally have a similar protocol. After that 1 year, because you were already in, you have already been dealt with, or you've dealt with a number of establishment or establishing unions and lobbyists and labor unions and so on, right? When you have already dealt with them, you already have a relationship with these groups. So the law says you got to wait 1 year. Because then a lot of times these unions will come in. They can't go directly to your representative. They have to use a go-between. So the go-between is a former representative of some kind in one of the three branches, who then now has access, who gets paid anywhere from $500 to $1.5 million a year to lobby, which is why they have special access after they've gone through the threshold of the 1 year revolving door.
These people will serve one term, get out, and then
Yep.
have that nice little cushy job for the rest of their
100%.
days.
Yep. And
Because
that,
they got the little insider trading info, and they know the names and where the bodies are buried.
well, and again, and it's, I've really researched this because I wanted to know. It's the same thing. How are they doing this? Why do they do this? How is it that your new representative, right? Maybe you got somebody new in, and all of a sudden they turn around and they do a 180 on you. And I've discovered, because I was exposed to it, I was offered it. I was offered, the contract. If I was just to sign it, made the agreement, I'd get all the money. And then I would be then in lockstep and tied to other, what is considered by the mainstream media, approved unions or approved lobbyists or wealthy families that have their hands already, because, well, they're the ones who are in control. Once you know who they are and you've done this long enough, like I have, because a lot of people are like, how do you know all this stuff? Because I've been doing this now, as of June will be my 7-year mark. I've been campaigning for 7
And 7 is the number of perfection.
perfection and the number of completion.
And completion. That's right.
So
I wish you all the best. I'm a fan. I definitely have been from the very beginning. I ever heard you speak, it was just a little old club up in Auburn, California. And I'm like, who is this guy? Oh my word. And ever since then, I'm like, I'm in. Where do we find you again? How do we help?
again, you can just go to danielforcalgovernor.com. And on there, you can donate. You can join up on one of my social media sites. I think I have 7 of them. And you can grab one of my videos and share them with everybody that you know.
Share those. They're good. They're really well done.
If you have 500 friends, tag all 500. Right now, 500 people know about me. Right? If you're big on email, copy and paste and just say something about me that interests you, that you think people might be interested in, and send them each an email.
Oh, here's an idea. Share this show. Then you'll be helping me too.
And that's the other thing too. Exactly right here. Right? Charlie, amazing. Spread it out there.
Thank you, brother.
And bring the words.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate
All
you.
right. We're continuing here this weekend. Thank you very much. Thank you for making this happen. Excuse me. Okay, I don't know if there's anybody else who's lined up to come on, who's going to be talking with us here. I'm going to be away from the microphone for a second. I will find out because I don't want to stop the broadcast until I make sure and get as many people as possible because I want you to meet them. I want you to hear them. I want you to hear from them. Just a moment, please. I'll be right back. After these messages, we'll be right back. Hey, Kimmy. Kimmy, what are you doing? Your phone. That's kind of important. Are there any other candidates out there who want to come on with me? I'm on right now. Or you would be great. Oh yeah, Denver, yeah. These are important events that are going on. I appreciate Kim Yater so much. She's the one that spearheaded all of this. She's the one that's made it happen from the very beginning. TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. She puts these events on at great personal expense. And like me, she's just a fellow media person, been in radio many, many years, down in the San Diego market, Southern California. I've always been up in NorCal, San Francisco, and Sacramento. But we both wound up working for the Salem Media Group, and during the COVID shutdown, we both lost our gigs. A lot of us did. Almost 300 of us all across the country got fired on the same day. April 15th, by the way, tax day. And she and I share the frustration with our own fellow media people of ignoring political races and campaigns. And that's always been the media's job, is to introduce to you people who are running for office because it adversely and greatly affects you and all of us. You can't vote for somebody you haven't even heard from, haven't even met, and the media's not introducing you to them. I've done that from the very beginning. I'm one of the few, and the reason why I'll tell you right now, up front, little insider trading, the reason why other podcasters don't have politicians on, they're the lowest rated shows of all. Now, that's because most people don't want to hear it. Well, I don't care. I'll wait until the party that I'm affiliated with comes out and tells me who to vote for. I think we really need to stop that. I really believe we need to get away from that because that is just killing us. We need to get much more involved and be paying closer attention to what is going on. Because like I was saying, the two things, my show's called Do Not Talk because I talk about two things you're never supposed to talk about, politics and religion. One decides what life is going to be like here on earth. The other one decides what life is going to be like when we leave it. Makes it very important. The biggest mistake, I think our family members, my grandfather more than once said, son, don't talk about politics and religion. It's too divisive. I love you, Pop. And I think that was bad advice. I don't think we should ever stop talking about it. And a lot of us are afraid on the right because we're doxxed. We're shut up, we're shut down, we're attacked in comments just because we take one stance that happens to be unpopular with the left. And they come after us. I get it. I know. It's hard. But we got a country to save. Like Larry Elder always says, we got a country to save. We got a state to save. It's not the time to shy away. Get registered to vote, registertovote.ca.gov. Start there. Not even registered? Come on. And we suck at showing up for primary elections and midterm elections. We are bad at it. The Republican side, the conservative side in general, not just Republican. We don't show up for the midterms and the primaries. And now we got both this year, primary in June 2nd, and of course the midterm election, first Tuesday in November. So we need you. Desperately need you. And please start just by getting registered. And if you're thinking, I don't want to be on a list or I don't want to serve jury duty, I've actually heard people say that. It's no longer decided by your voter registration. That's decided by the DMV. You have a driver's license, you're probably going to get called for jury duty. That's how it is now in California. Everything's going through the DMV. It's become like the state version of the IRS, controlling everything, because all of us want to drive, all of us want a license, even though you're not required to show one to vote. I know. Another discussion for another time. I get it. But please get registered. Registertovote.ca.gov. Registertovote.ca.gov. I'm going to see if somebody else is standing by before I shut down this broadcast. Give me a second, please. I'll be right back.
You know, I would love it. We're gonna keep that.
Please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, why you're running for state tiger.
My name is Jennifer Cox, and I'm a career politician. This is the first race I've ever run in, and it's my last. I'm going to become a state treasurer, and I'm coming out of retirement to do it because I believe in I look at what's going on in our state right now, and I think we're concerned and impact that's having on the policies that people right now. More taxes, more taxes, more taxes. We are watching you.
Okay, I'm coming. I really did just get this in the California Republican Party today. Look at that. I haven't even opened it yet. So sick of the whole dang group. I won't stop being a Republican. I just won't. As long as they have in their platform that they're pro-life and pro-traditional marriage and pro-gun, I'll stay a Republican. The moment they take that out of their platform, though, is the day I'm gone. God, family, country, period. And my own party decides they don't want to represent that anymore because they have to get along. They have to try and act more like the left just so they can win some elections. How did that, listen, what if President Trump would have had that attitude? Well, I'm going to have to curb my conservative nature. I'm just going to have to hide that and not speak openly and honestly about it so I can get elected. He didn't, he hasn't, he still is not. It seemed to work out pretty well for him. Hi, hon, come on over. So the reason why I brought this up is I'm still a Republican, but I'm not giving any money to the Republican Party of California anymore, that's for sure. You want to bring that, you want to show that on camera?
We do want to show this on
Well,
camera.
you gotta sit here though. We're kind of got a tight shot. Look at all of this. Look at all of this. What is this?
What is this?
Oh, by the way, this is Christine Bish.
Hi, everybody.
Come on over, please.
Okay.
Move to
get
your
all
right. Get
up and comfortable.
there. You go. Don't tell your husband. He's a big guy, and I don't want to mess with him.
He can trust me.
That's
You
good.
know,
Because you're trustworthy.
well, I try to be. You know, I'm kind
You
of.
are.
You know what they tell me? I'm the Marjorie Taylor Greene of California, but I don't have a potty mouth and I don't cheat on my husband.
I don't know if you want to affiliate yourself with MTG at this point.
You know
but
what? She's in a weird place. She did a lot of good. She
what the
helped
heck?
us.
She did do a lot of good, and
She
I
did.
defended her right up to the very end, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck happened?
You know what? I don't know what happened.
She's part of that whole Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Steve Bannon crew that seems to be like going against our president all of a sudden.
You know, I love our president,
I do
and
too.
he sometimes he needs to take a step back, but so do I. I'm just following my own advice.
Yeah, good. Chris, endorsed by the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association. That's a huge endorsement. And Christine is running for Congress in Northern California.
Now, you know, we're not all about endorsements because I'm not endorsed by the state party.
No, I know.
I know I didn't pay him
But then
enough.
there's no.
Oh, wait a minute, I didn't pay him enough.
But then neither are either one of the gubernatorial candidates
There
actually
you
endorsed by
go.
the Republican Party.
I'm in good company.
There you go.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
fantastic.
No, you know, I really like the majority of our candidates running for governor,
So do I. We got a
Yeah.
strong bench.
but I took one out, or I helped take one out. You know, Eric Swalwell.
Oh, you're talking about that side of the aisle. No,
that side
I
of
don't
the
respect any of those people.
But you know what
Xavier
heck-
Becerra is now the front runner for the Democrats, at least, and he is the
He's got
biggest
his
flaming
own laundry
communist of them all.
Yeah, he's got his own laundry list. But you know, in Sacramento, because we're both from the Sacramento area, we just had one of our city councilmen, a guy named Lo Lee. He was just found guilty, took the plea because he was a city councilman, but he actually lived in Granite Bay, and he used a false address so he could be on the city council. Well, and then, you know, the Sacramento Bee really picked up on it. They did a good job. You got to give credit where credit is due. But, you know, they had discovered that he was using this fake address. And so they caught him with false immigration papers, you know, ballots, you know, doing lots of bad things. And, you know, we've talked about Adam Schiff, because Adam Schiff whole mortgage fraud thing, which was really an election integrity
Which
thing.
we busted that story wide open
Way
with Christine
open
here on my
before-
show.
Before the media, long before the
Yeah.
major media picked it up.
You
But-
did.
But here's the deal. Well, everybody who helped me, you know, we all get a part in this. Nobody, one person can do anything. It's what we do together. But what was important about Lowly, and hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, is we knew he was lying about the address or providing false information about where he lived to get power. And now he's got $1.4 million fine, and he's looking at 50 years in prison. Okay. So, you know, we go back to
Election fraud makes it, as you said on stage earlier, a federal crime.
It is a federal crime. And so when we talk about like Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell, Ami Bera, Doris Matsui, all of them were elected, right? And all of them
Allegedly.
they were all, when on their first election, all of them, well, except for Doris. There's a whole thing. Doris is the exception.
Yeah.
But the other three, you know, they were actually in California when they were elected. It's when they went to DC and each one of them bought a house. And well, it was actually Bob Matsui. He got elected legit. And then they all went to the DC area, 2 in Maryland, 2 in DC, bought their house. I pulled their mortgage documents and they claimed it as their primary residence. And none of them continued to register to vote. And in California, what they did was they left their old voter registration. Now, what was
that
it?
an oversight or is that on purpose?
It was on purpose.
Of course it was.
Well,
I asked the question, usually
you know
knowing the
what?
answer.
I can tell you right now, they didn't think about it. See, the only one who really,
Because they're arrogant.
okay, so Doris Matsui, when Bob was elected, they sold their house in Sacramento. They bought the house in Maryland as their primary residence. Both Bob and Doris registered to vote at Bob's father's house. Okay.
In Sacramento.
In Sacramento. And so they continued to vote remote from Sacramento.
How about that?
But their primary residence, because I have their mortgage documents, their tax documents. I even have both Bob and Doris's driver's license and their auto insurance out of Maryland, right? So they re-registered after they bought the house in Maryland at Bob's dad's house. Then Adam Schiff, he actually registered to vote like 3 times. And I have certified copies of his voter registration forms.
Nice.
So each time he changed residences, those 1-bedroom, 1-bath furnished condos in Burbank to pretend like he lived there, he would re-register to vote. But what he did do is he continued to refinance the house in Maryland and never changed his registration because he was pretending that he was living in Burbank. But we know we've got him on video saying, yeah, my primary residence is California, but I moved my family to Maryland. And you can't, if he had bought a second house or an investment property, anything other than a primary residence, he probably would have gotten away with it. And there wouldn't be a problem. You can own all the houses you want. It's just how you take title. And it matters.
I love Christine so much. I've been a fan of hers from the very beginning. And what a lot of people don't know is they know about her real estate, success in real estate, and you've worked hard for that. What they don't know is about your past in being an investigator, private investigator.
Yeah, I have a kind of a crazy past. I've lived everywhere between California, New York, New Jersey, Texas, Utah, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Michigan, and I know I'm leaving out some, but I've lived all over the place. So, it's never went to the same school twice growing up as a kid. And yeah, but I wasn't an Army vet. Dad just did things. So Dad did things. So we're going to leave it there. But, I was a bill collector, and I used to collect child support for the state of Alaska and the state of Wyoming, which are 2 weird ones. Sometimes I got 2 and 3 generations of guys who didn't pay child support, and even a lot of moms who don't pay child support, believe it or not.
Right.
But I used to repossess cars. Had the opportunity to work with a couple bounty hunters, track down some guys who jump bail. That's a lot of fun.
My point is, if you're doing dirty and you're holding political office, she will find your stuff. She'll find your crap, and she has. And we've disclosed a lot of the stuff on last show.
We have.
I appreciate that very much.
Well, and you can always tell which ones have something to hide because they know I have a nose for no good, and they run. It's great. If you're ever around me and we're around a bunch of politicians, you can see them. They'll go the other way. They'll like lock eyes with me across
I've seen
the
it
room.
happen.
You've seen it happen. Oh yeah. It's like any way to avoid me. Guys, when I get to Congress, you won't be able to avoid me.
You can't hide.
You can't run, you can't hide.
Yeah, you're awesome, man. One of my heroes.
There's a lot of good people there. And I believe.
Really? Name 2.
I like Tom McClintock. I like him a lot.
How can you not?
How can you not?
He's done some things that have disappointed me.
We've all been
last few years.
disappointed from time to time. And believe it or not,
Not siding with the president on several things that.
well, and talk about siding with the president is Thomas Massey. I think he is, he's in it for the right reasons. He's done the right things. And I know there's a lot of tension between him and President Trump, but I understand where it comes from both of them. It's like having a couple of uncles, right? They agree on everything. It's just they want a different path to getting there. And I do know that Massey is a finance hawk, and I agree with him. But I also understand you've got to spend money to make money. Just like we have to spend money in these campaigns to get elected. And trust me, I'm not making money on this deal. But it's an investment. And, we've seen so much of our money not spent wisely. I understand where Massey's coming from, and we can't keep doing this, but in some ways we have to reinvest. I was looking at a chart that just came out, and it was talking about the poverty level for an adult in the Sacramento area was $30,000 a year. If you're under $30,000 a year, you're at the poverty level. So then I'm looking at senior citizens. Do you know in Social Security, some of them make as little as $800 a month. If you're doing good, $1,200 a month on Social Security. So we have seniors that are supposedly in this safety net, right? This safety net that doesn't exist, and our seniors are below the poverty level. So I'm saying, and I'm actually working on legislation, and we'll talk about the FIRE Act in a minute that we just showed you, but working on legislation that says, as we recover this money that's been, part of the waste, the fraud, and the abuse and DOGE, is that we need to take care of our seniors and at minimum get them up to poverty level. So what I'm talking about is we're shutting down USAID.
I'm one of those fixed income guys now, by the way.
Exactly.
Never thought I would be, but look, here
Then
I am.
a
couple of divorces and 2008 stock
can't-
market and real estate crash.
We can't expect people to live like live like that.
I'm paycheck to paycheck.
And
I'm
you-
thinking about being a Walmart greeter to supplement my income. It's bad.
It's
really
bad. You're going to have to come work with me at the district office because we're planning on doing satellite offices.
Awesome.
Because the district is so big, we've got to be able to serve all of the communities. Prop 50 created a mess, but I'm the girl to fix it and to serve the people. But I wanted to go back to Social Security. So, someone who's getting anywhere between $800 and $1,200 a month, they're not even at the poverty level. So as we're cutting off money to USAID, we're cutting off money to illegal aliens who are never entitled to it. We're cutting off all this waste and fraud and abuse. I think we have an obligation to people who paid in to our seniors. And what I'm talking about is getting them up to poverty level. So if you're one of those people out there and you're getting $1,000 a month in the Sacramento area in my district, in District 3, I'm talking about tripling it, bringing you up to $3,000 a month.
My frustration
And
is,
we have the money to pay for it.
my frustration is, I think that was a whole socialist boondoggle from the very beginning.
Yes, it was.
That was never the government's place to make sure I was taken care of if I
But they
if I
forced
didn't
you to
invest
pay
wisely.
them.
Now, if I would have, instead of having this money taken out of my paycheck every single time, supposedly invested for me so I'd have a little cushion when I retire,
Right.
I could have done so much better with it on my own.
Yeah.
And handed it over to them, and what I'm getting back doesn't even come close to what I paid into it.
And that's what they were betting on,
And it
is
never
that
will.
you will never get your money back.
No.
So what I'm talking about is at the federal level as a representative, and this doesn't just serve the people of the 3rd district where I'm running. This is nationwide, and it's about bringing our seniors who were sold a product, a defective product.
Forced into it.
Forced into it.
They don't
All
have
of
a
us.
choice.
All of us were forced into buying this, like they're, tried to force us into Obamacare and vaccines, but they forced an entire country into a Social Security system. And I understand why they did it at the time. But, buggy whips aren't made anymore. The times change. But we have to take care of the people who bought into this program. So what I'm saying is nationwide, we have to get our seniors at minimum up to what is poverty level. So in Sacramento, if you're a senior and you're receiving $1,000 a month, $800 a month, I'm talking about tripling it. And I believe our federal government, we have the money to do it. When we're not, paying for sex changes on inmates, we're not paying for COVID shots, we're not, doing, transgender musicals in Bolivia, the mating habits of shrimp. It's all of the crazy waste, the fraud, the abuse. And that's part of this is it being in the House of Representatives is being done with these omnibus bills. This is how they slide the pork in. We don't know what's in the bill until we pass it.
I'll never forget Nancy Pelosi saying that about Obamacare.
Absolutely.
We won't know what's in the bill until we pass it.
And now you can't get a doctor's appointment. So what I'm saying is, we've got some emergency issues that we have to take care of. And California is definitely an emergency issue. And if you watch the live stream, you saw, I was the only federal candidate on stage. And so we're talking to governor candidates. Steve Hilton even called in, people running for treasurer, lieutenant governor. And I'm the only federal candidate up there. And I think it was good Because as we're talking about what's wrong with California, I was able to talk about how it relates to the federal government. Even with Jennifer Hawks, who's running for state treasurer, controlling the money. Well, a lot of that money is our tax dollars that originate out of Washington. And so by working with candidates, whether it's governor all the way down to assembly districts, we need to have that relationship. Pick up the phone. Hey, Chris, I need help with this bill. California farmers, we've got this artificial drought. What can you do to do it? Well, I was just appointed to the Auburn Dam Council because we're going to build it, damn it. And, but these are national security issues. We're talking about food insecurity for an entire country. We're right here in the farmland and making sure that the food is safe. What is that? That's water quality, not just quantity, but quality. So it's taking every issue that's important to all of us and figuring out how can I help at the federal level? How does that apply? And, we just showed this poster, and I'm going to put it up behind us here, right? Get it behind us, right here. This is called the Wildfire Act. Okay, right over Charlie's head right there. It's called the Wildfire Act. Drop that down a little.
Yeah.
And what this is California, we have California Fair Plan. It's insolvent. Everybody knows it. If you're waiting to be paid out, Palisades, you guys know what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Where you aren't paid out. We know the system, they deny claims. And we have national flood insurance, right? And it was done because in high flood areas, the insurance companies started pulling out. So I use the model of national flood insurance for national fire insurance. And it's where we pay in and it goes at the federal level, but it's an investment. It's an investment in FEMA. Because in California, we know it's not if we're going to have a wildfire, it's when. It's when. So this is about helping people get their houses where they can mitigate fire damage, retrofitting roofs, putting in siding, clearing defensible space.
Through FEMA, you're saying?
Well, it's a
Because
partnership.
I'd like to see the whole damn thing go away.
Well, no, it's mismanaged. So what this does is it actually holds FEMA accountable, because there's a lot of people, if they own their house free and clear, they can't afford fire insurance, so they'll take out liability in case someone's hurt. But
I used to
then,
live up in Grizzly Flats, and I had a whole bunch of neighbors and friends who lost everything because they couldn't afford the fire insurance that had canceled on them.
right, and this
They didn't
way,
renew their policies.
and this isn't an end-all be-all, it's a fix-all, but it could drop the fire insurance in California, in Georgia, where they're having wildfires right now. This is national, or we could drop fire insurance in half. And what's great about it is it already exists. We already have the model, national flood insurance. I'm not creating new legislation. I'm repurposing what's already there. We know how to implement it. There were some holes in national flood insurance, so hopefully I address these. And when it gets to committee, that's when there's more people than just me jumping in. Chris, this is a great idea. This is what we can do to get this happening quickly, because we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just repurposing it. It's like, again, go back to seniors getting Social Security. We're not reinventing Social Security. We're saying you have to get with the times, and we have to get people at minimum up to poverty level. And there are so many things that we can do. I have more legislation ready to come out on how we're going to change student loans. And it's going to be based on the ability to repay the debt. So
Imagine that.
imagine that. So right now we have colleges that they have blank checks, colleges and universities. You get this kid to take a class and get a degree in underwater basket weaving.
I
Or
want to know why we're sending any kind of tax dollars to any private university or
well,
college.
I'm private or
Why
it's,
do we give them any money at all?
well, it's the way it's misused. And that's what it's about. So what I'm talking about is, let's go back to the mortgages. And you might be able to afford a mortgage higher than I can, but it's based on my ability to repay the debt. So my idea from being in real estate and mortgage is that we restructure the way we do student loans. So you're going to be a computer engineer and you're going to earn $100,000 a year coming out of college. I'm going to be a first grade teacher and I'm looking at $40,000 a year coming out of college. We're both getting a bachelor's degree. We're incurring the same amount of debt, but your ability to repay the debt is easier than mine. So we're going to base it on the earning potential of the degree. Just like the ability to repay a home loan,
Oh, wow.
right? So, and what
You decide you want to do cultural studies as your major?
Sure, what's the highest paid barista? You know, and we're not saying we're not going to do student loans. We're not going to guarantee student loans. But what we are saying
We're going to even the playing field a little bit by hopefully encouraging you to maybe strive better for something that's a little bit more, important.
No, it's about following your passion. But it's what the taxpayers.
Follow your passion all you want, but don't make me as the taxpayer.
Exactly. Now, you take the same 18-year-old that will sign for $50,000 to go into debt for a student loan. But if that same 18-year-old with no work history walks onto a car lot to buy a new car, they're not getting financed. They apply for a mortgage, they're not getting financed. So we're going to base it on the earning potential of the degree. And now colleges and universities, you want to teach liberal studies, American Indians in film, underwater basket weaving. I don't care what the degrees are, but you're going to have some skin in the game if there's no earning potential or serious earning potential of that degree.
I think this is a great idea.
And, Thomas Massey, Congressman Massey, you can contact me. I'm Chris Bish. It's bishforcongress.com. My email's on there, and talk about some of these fiscally responsible things that I'm coming up with. And this is stuff that we can maybe mend that fence between you and President Trump, because this is stuff that the president's going to appreciate. We're really helping people.
Makes sense.
And we're changing how higher education works. We're getting our seniors up to at least poverty level where they can afford to eat. We're going to take care of fire insurance and changing education. I'm excited. I need you all to help me get this job. Go to bishforcongress.com. I'm Christine Bish. I'm running for Congress in California's 3rd Congressional District. Oh, and by the way, if you don't know, because Prop 50 kind of messed things up, I actually have a map of the district, and it's on Google Maps, and it's got a little location. It tracks where you are. You put in your address from your phone or from home into Google Maps. It's on my website, bishforcongress.com. Go to the map, and it will tell you if you're in the district.
Perfect. That's smart. I haven't seen anybody else do that. It's very smart.
Well, somebody else did do it. One of the Democrats running against me, Chris Bennett. We agree on nothing, but I think he is a delightful young man. Like I said, we agree on nothing. He's pretty liberal. But I'm a mom, and I like him. I don't want him to run against me, but I do like him.
Thank you, Christine,
You're
so
welcome.
much. All right.
All right, let's go eat.
Let's go eat. Broadcasting live from this event. TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com is the website to find out what's going on. You actually can be here tomorrow if you want. I suggest that you do, and it's a free event. If I remember right, it starts at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and it's going to be all the candidates, most of them conservative. There are a couple of no party preference, though, and even one Democrat, but they're going to be pleading their case as to why you want to reach out to them. Plus, you're going to see a lot of great stuff here. That Freedom Bus is here. It's amazing. And shake these people's hands, hear what they have to say, get your photo with them, get involved. That's the absolute bottom line, most important thing you can do right now. More than anything else, get involved. And you can follow me and help me at charliesimons.com. Right there's the website, charliesimons.com, CharlieSimons.com. Get yourself a hat or a mug or a shirt. Kim Yater, who I was bragging on earlier, she's standing right over here. I don't want to take you away from dinner, hon. It's dinner time.
It's dinner time. Do you know what?
What?
The lamb is amazing.
Oh, I love lamb.
And they're going to start in just a little bit. So it's been really nice getting to know everybody. But I just wanted to acknowledge you, Charlie, because, you could be out there eating food with us, but instead you're loving up on the peeps and making sure they're taken care of.
And you're the main peep. As I was bragging about her. She's the one I was telling you about. This is Kim Yater, a fellow media person who has taken her responsibility seriously of bringing candidates to you in a way that the media used to do, and now they don't, and they don't care. You can have all the airtime you want as long as you pay for it. That's how the media is now.
Yeah.
And what you've been doing here has been so amazing at your own great personal expense, physically, mentally, financially. I hope that people will get involved and you can through takeourcaliforniaback.com.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, well, first it's going to take all of us. You know, having a conversation with Peter Tickton the other day and a whole team of election, experts who've been in the fight for a while, it's just so evident that nobody's coming to save us.
No. We're it.
We're it.
Yeah.
Tag, you're it.
Tag,
But
you're
it's real, and it's going to take us rising up to take our California back. It was funny. I had this image the other day. Not the other day. I was talking to someone, and I said, we need to take our our ballot box back. And I literally had this image of like the Wild Wild West. We're going to protect that ballot box. We're going to protect that ballot box. We're going to protect the people's vote and voice.
Amen.
And I think that, Clint Curtis is doing that by creating the additional election security feature, which gives the power back to the people and is full transparency. And it's peaceful and it's legal. It's like you don't want it to get to a point, in the country where it's mayhem. You want to do it in a way that we're bringing people together. I mean, we just have to remember who the enemy is and what the enemy's intent is, right? So it's going to take people like us continuing to show up, doing events like this. And yes, an event like this is easily close to $20,000. The last event was about $47,000. This place was gutted. We had to bring everything in. And everyone is like getting paid peanuts for it. Like my AV team and stuff. Their van broke down on the way. I had a flat tire on the way. One of our Maha guys got into an accident. It was all this crazy stuff. But the reality is, I want to be generous of what God's given me. And when people donate and give back to take our California back, that means I can take care of my people, because they are putting in the time and the hours. I am too. I'm leading by example. 2 hours sleep, by the way, last night. 2 hours the night before, Charlie.
I know.
No, I can't live on that, and I don't recommend it. It's for time, for a season, right? But it's important. It's important. I can be spending time with my grandbabies.
We're a little over a month away from the primary, June 2nd.
Yes.
And I'm just encouraging people, we have until May 9th to get registered to vote for this coming primary election on June 2nd. We need you now more than ever. Everybody throws around, this is the most important election of our lifetime. Okay, Sean Hannity, I get it. This actually is the most important election of our lifetime.
Yes.
If you don't show up this time around, President Trump is done. He's
Yeah.
gonna be dead in the water.
And the thing is, it's not like he's, President Trump's like, oh, I'm just not going to come help you guys. It means that we've been completely infiltrated by the Marxist, atheist
Amen.
agenda on all fronts.
Yeah.
And so this is our home. Our home's been invaded. We thought we'd take our border back. It's been invaded for years. It's time to take our home back.
TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. If you can help financially, there's ways to give on there too. And join us tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh my
Join
God.
us tomorrow.
Tomorrow's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're taking the candidates to the Delta and to the port at 8:30. We meet up
Of Stockton.
in Stockton. Yeah. Of Stockton. But they're meeting with leaders. We saw when we had the governor candidates meet with the Farm Bureau and do the walkthrough at Shasta
was
County for
awesome.
election
I was there.
transparency with Clint Curtis, the whistleblower who wrote the code to flip the vote in the machines.
Mhm.
Yep, he was the coder.
He knows how it
Became an
works.
attorney, whistleblower to Congress. He is holding down the fort of Shasta. So if you're in that neck of the woods, you need to vote for him, support him financially as
Yeah.
well, because that's the beachhead of Normandy. So tomorrow's a big deal because we're going to be able to experience the additional election transparency demonstration, which is going to show us how we can take our power back and have real transparency.
The main
And it's
event
simple.
starts at 1 o'clock, right?
Yeah, the main event starts at 1. So we'll go from
And
1
it's
to
free.
3:30. Free event. Join us online. Definitely join us, Charlie. We have your
Yeah,
stream
we'll be
keys,
live
right?
again
So We'll
tomorrow,
be live
yeah.
again. And then And then if you can get here for sure. And then after that, it's the governor debate. So it's funny because I'm really thinking through how I want to do this next one. What was created today was awesome. It was awesome.
I was looking at the room and I was looking at how everything looked and how great it was and everything. I kept thinking, Kim made that happen. You give credit to the Lord, I know, as do I, but you're the one that really spearheaded this and made this happen. The Lord put this on your heart and you've gotten it done.
Yeah.
More than once.
Oh my gosh. God, I'm like, God, give me a supernatural strength. 2 hours sleep. But the team, the tech team, oh my gosh, the volunteers, everybody was here till 3:30 in the morning setting up with good attitudes. A couple little bumps, but for the most part, good attitudes. Couple little bumps in the road. But it's I'm blown away by what's possible. It all goes back to, and I'm going to tell you, the Bible says you'll know my disciples by their love for one another.
Yeah.
I think we're beginning to see that more than anything in this time, the stand for freedom and the love for one another. Charlie, I love you.
I love
I'm
you
so
too.
glad you're alive
I am
and
too.
happy and well. So amazing. And thank you for all the hard work you do. Charlie, you have been relentless in your work. I've seen you go show after show after show, show after show. I'm like, how the heck does he do that? So you got to take care of yourself. You guys tell him to take care of himself. That's a priority because we need you.
All right, thank you.
We need you for the next leg of the race.
Okay, you're embarrassing me now. Get out of here.
Love you. Gotta go. Bye. Take our CaliforniaBack.com.
Yes, takeourcaliforniaback.com. Please go there, get involved, look what they're doing. If you can give, if you can help them, they sure do need it. Not kidding. Takeourcaliforniaback.com. May God bless you and keep you. I'll see you tomorrow, starting at 1 o'clock, again, right here live. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America, bless God.
So, yeah.